MedWell Unscripted. My name is April, and I'm so excited for today's chat. We are on episode number 3, and I have some great friends with me today. Today, we're talking about finding the right strains to relieve some of your health symptoms. So awesome. Here is Emily with MedWell Health, and she is the Director of Community Outreach. And we have our friend Vincent DiMento from Ermont Medical Dispensary in Quincy today. So welcome, guys. How is everybody today?
Doing great.
Doing great. How you doing?
Good, good, good. So I'm going to start with you, Emily. Tell everybody a little, I know we talk a little bit about what you do each week, but I definitely think it's helpful. Tell everybody what you do for MedWell.
Absolutely. So I'm community outreach. So I am lucky enough to be able to go to dispensaries out there and other networks to be able to tell everyone why they would want to come to a place like MedWell, everything that we can offer for a patient. I'm fortunate enough to be able to meet people like Vin and be able to explain to him why he would want to recommend to his patients why they would want to send people our way. We have super professional staff, wonderful nurse practitioners and doctors, and we make it a wonderful experience. So I'm just the person that goes out and is MedWell's biggest cheerleader.
Just the person. That's an awesome role in all the things you do. So, hey, Vinny, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do at Ermont and share with us.
Cool. So yeah, I'm the lead PSA at Ermont, which means that I make sure the sales floor is running smoothly. I'll hop on a register if need be, if it's crowded or if we have someone on lunch. But I basically make sure everything's going smooth, everyone's having a great experience, and everything's running properly, under the CCC guidelines and all of that. So I also can keep an ear out, and if there's any deep questions on like a certain topic, I can go over and give my opinion on something, since I've been doing it for a little longer than some other people there. But mostly we have a great crew, and I just basically make sure everyone's just where they need to be at the right time. That's about it.
Nice. Very nice. So you have a very special role in supporting the patients, people that come in. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So friends, we're so excited that you're here. Just some housekeeping. I want to let you know we are here. We are live streaming this on Facebook and YouTube today. Please do put your questions in the chat. We're here to answer them as we go along. And I promise we will do our best to get to all of them today. And if for some reason we have a technology hiccup, because that is known to happen in the internet world, bear with us and we will make sure that we come back on live to finish this conversation. So let's get this party started, friends. So let's talk a little bit about the different types of strains, Vinny. So when you kind of talk about sativa, hybrid, all of those, why don't we start with sativa and talk about kind of that strain, and then we can lead into maybe some of the types of products that you carry at Ermont, and that how they can help with some of those symptoms. Sure.
So there's three basic types of cannabis that you're taught right out the gate. We're heading to more into terpenes lately, but the basics are sativa, hybrid, and indica. And sativa is what we're going to talk about right now, and that is for energy. And that's mostly for people who want to get energy along with pain relief throughout the day. So sativa strains are ones that will pick you up cerebrally, but they also will provide the pain that the hybrid indica can provide without dragging you down. Some sativas provide less pain relief because they're more cerebral. Other ones can provide more. Some are more intense than others. There's also hybrid sativa that will provide more body relief than head relief because it's a combo of the two. But basically what it comes down to is what strain works for you. And so we have a couple different strains at our store that are very popular with like energy. So for example, our most heavy sativa would be Sour Diesel. Sour Diesel is one-way street. It's very uplifting, very euphoric, but it's not ever going to make you relax. So Sour Diesel is definitely the best daytime strain that we provide. We also have Wonder Woman, which is more of a hybrid sativa that also provides more pain relief. But what it comes down to is people try different sativas, and what it comes down to is the terpenes that are in each sativa affect your brain differently. And most people have different preferences, just like food, just like anything. So comes to trial and error, that's where my team comes in, and they really work with the patient and make sure that they get the correct sativa for them. Some sativas can give people anxiety, and that's where we really work with the patient and let them know that, say they smoke a heavy sour diesel pre-roll, that could ruin their day more than help their day. So there are points in this industry where we have to work hard with the patient to make sure that right out the gate, if it's their first time in there, that they don't discourage them. Also, we have other options. We have sativa edibles. We have sativa vaporizers. I mean, we'd also suggest maybe start with the vaporizer. It's a little more mild. You maybe hit it once or twice, see how your day is going versus flower. But there's plenty of options. But at our store, we have our most popular sativas are sour diesel, which is more one way. And then we have blue lemon Thai and Wonder Woman, which are great for pain relief throughout the day.
And do you find, because energy, so when you kind of think of different types of health issues, do you find that more cancer patients would tend to go towards sativa type strains?
So, I mean, I wouldn't say specifically, but I would say most people that are traveling from and to the hospital definitely prefer sativa because they have to get through their day, and they have to get through their day happy and with no pain. So I have heard multiple cancer patients specifically telling me that no matter what painkiller, whatever pain medicine they're on, that the most relief they ever get is from the cannabis. And that makes me hard, whereas you know that the pain's mostly in your head, and the relief you get from your head to your body is really where the sativa comes into play. It helps your mood, it uplifts your energy, everything. So it's like a cup of coffee, how caffeine helps your mood. It's the same.
Right.
Sure.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us about the next strain? So
then we have hybrids. Hybrids are hit or miss when it comes to energy. You have to find the right hybrid. So basically hybrids, what comes in the hybrids is what works for you. So there's hybrid sativa, there's hybrid indica, and there's direct hybrids. So we'll say, for example, we have a hybrid Gorilla Glue. So we have a Gorilla Glue times Tropicana. We cross most of our strains with Tropicana, but what it comes down to is whatever it's crossed with, it leans mostly that way. So we'll start with Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is one of the most stereotypical but most popular hybrids there is, just like sour diesel, because it works. Okay. So Gorilla Glue is one of those strains where if you want to relax and hang out or chill out at the end of the day, but you do not want to be passing out in a half hour to an hour. Yeah. And a hybrid is one of those focused relief where you can go out, do laundry, go on a walk, do stuff that you're not thinking about the 2 hours from now or what you did an hour ago. It's more so living in the moment, feeling good about it. Hybrids for me personally always help me chill. Hybrids are the way I have high energy levels. So for people with high energy levels, they don't need sativa. They need hybrid to focus. So the hybrids to focus, like I said, blue lemon Thai is a hybrid sativa. So if you want to focus, but you don't want to go one way, you would do a hybrid sativa. And hybrid indica, like say Cherry Garcia, which is a popular one to relax and mellow out, but you can watch a movie and you're not going to go to bed. So there's a lot of options with the hybrid. Then it comes down to flavor, terpenes. I haven't gotten to terpenes yet, but terpenes are really where we're heading in this industry. And terpenes are what makes each strain that strain. So for example, limonene is a terpene in most sativas. And in limonene, that's why you see super lemon haze or the lemon flavors. And then you have myrcene, which is like more in hybrids and indicas, and that's more relaxing. So that's the flavor, and then you'd understand it more by what the bud tasted. But when it comes down to it, it's not actually what the hybrid or the indica with the sativa is doing. It's more so within those strains, which terpenes your body prefers. So that's where we really get into the nitty gritty of like, well, this person likes that one better than that person because those terpenes adhere to them better. That's what's happening right now.
So sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Emily.
I was just going to ask, so I guess I was just trying to think about, as you were talking, Vinny, I get so many patients where basically they're calling us because of their anxiety. That always seems to be probably the number one reason why we see so many of our patients beyond even what some of their other ailments are that they're, trying to treat. So with that strain that you just mentioned, is that what maybe someone that's just trying to get through the day with their anxiety, is that something that maybe they would look into or want to try?
Okay, I can answer this in a full question. So I'll end with the indica. I'm just going to end with indica and then full circle go back to what you just said.
Okay.
Then we have the indica, and the indica is meant for people to relax and sleep. And that's for people who really need to chill out, mellow out, and cannot, go to bed, I guess. There's trouble sleeping, which happens, you have it everywhere. I myself, I like indica myself to relax at night. I'm an energy person. So full circle, what it comes down to is for anxiety, everyone's anxiety is different. Some people have anxiety throughout the day, and that's where sativa can help them get through the day, power through the day. They don't think about what they did yesterday. That's what I was saying. They're living more in the moment and they're happy, and it's like caffeine. Yeah. Hybrid, same premise. If they're anxious about when they're home after work and they don't know what to do till bedtime, that's where a hybrid may come involved, or their day off or something like that. And then indica, that's where I really like someone like me who's high energy. It's 9, 10 p.m. You want to chill out, and it will help you chill out. And then you feel like the anxiety go with that because you were relaxing, being able to relax. So there's levels to each one, but they're all for anxiety. It's just some strains for other people can give more anxiety than less. So that's the little niche of this industry that we have to work with each patient.
Right.
Figure out what works for you.
Gotcha.
There's edibles, there's CBD to counteract it, there's vaporizers, there's options. So we really work hard with the patients and make sure we know what they're getting.
So, wow, you shared so much in kind of that short amount about all the different types that fall under the strains, the hybrids, indica, sativa. Tell us a little bit. So if I was coming into Ermont for the first time, clearly that can be overwhelming, right? And one of the things you did say it's all about the patient and finding what's best for them. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of how you help a patient to figure out what might be a good place to start? Or if they are coming in and they're saying, wait, I need energy, but this sativa is giving me a little bit of anxiety, and how you guys your team helps them.
So when they come in, so if say first time patient comes in our store, we'll start with that, right? Our team really takes full time. So we have people coming in, buying 2 pre-rolls and leaving the store. Then we have the person who's never used cannabis. They're coming in the first time, and they're sitting with our PSA for about half hour to an hour. It could be any time, could be 10 minutes, could be as long as it takes. But what we really do is we break down what they've been using, what's bothering them, what they think they need, and we really start working on our menu. And as our team we have a very veteran customer service team, especially with COVID. We, as you guys know, sure you guys know, we went from 5,000 patients to about 9,000 new. So we have about 15,000 patients, 200%.
Wow.
So we saw a lot of new patients, plenty. I mean, most of them maybe had used cannabis before. They're coming from the rec market and understanding how much money they're saving now that they're 4 trips to the rec store and you paid off your card. And then they're also seeing the benefits of the medical industry with higher dose edibles, more options in flower, more vaporizer options, higher limit to buy, so they don't have to worry about going every 3 days. All these things that help make cannabis more involved in your everyday life, like any medicine would be. Yeah. So in a nutshell, what we do is we really sit and talk, and it's literally everyone's different. So we will listen. And what we will do is we start everyone basic. We will never give someone the highest or the most potent edible. We really do have a system that you come in, if you're looking to sleep, for example, right? You'll come in, you'll get maybe a more mild hybrid, a more relaxing sativa, nothing that's going to blow you back, but something that will work. And then you'll get maybe a low chocolate bar, 100 milligrams, or something like you would get in rec, gummies of 20 by 5 milligrams, and you start low. And so after the first night, they might come back and be like, hey, I took 10 milligrams and I didn't feel anything, and I slept a little better, and that really felt good, but it was a little weak. So if that happens, then you say, okay, then we're going to go to the next level. So maybe you need 25 milligrams of sleep, and then maybe you need a little higher dose. Maybe you higher dose bud, or maybe you need like a hybrid. Maybe the sativa is not doing it for you, the indica is not doing it for you. And then you start figuring out by trial and error, just like everything, what strains work for you and what strains don't. And then from there, it's pretty standard now once you get into the world of that's what our job is, basically, to navigate. If something's not on the menu, find the nearest close thing. That's the only problem with the cannabis industry, is consistency of always having everything readily available, because it's plants and edibles and stuff you make human make, it's not just a product. So that's where people get discouraged in the beginning first time, but we will walk you through why you can adjust, what you can go get other places, everything. We make sure you always find the benefit you need. So, and we ensure that your first time we ensure it's both enjoyable, informative, and nothing out of the ordinary. So we just make sure you have the smoothest experience possible while you get the right answer. That's all. We just want to make sure it works for you and don't discourage you in the end.
Awesome. Our friend Jennifer is asking, what strain do you feel is best for ADHD? I take ADHD meds and want to use cannabis in place of this. And I'm sure you get that question a lot. People, coming in, and I know our doctors at MedWell, we have the pharmaceutical side and we have the natural side of cannabis, and people trying to relieve their symptoms without using all the pharmaceutical stuff. So what do you suggest for that?
I have a mild case myself, so I can explain that for sure.
We all have a little bit of that.
Personally, there's two things that really have worked for me, but again, this is everyone's different. So wise, if we're talking straight strain, I would say any hybrid sativa, something that's going to make you a little mellowed out in the body, but your head's going to feel the same. So you're not going to want to go, your body's not going to want to do more than you're focused. So I would say for our store, a great one would be Wonder Woman and Blue Lemon Tie. Something that, channels your focus. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about what you want to get done, and your body feels good on top of it. So yeah, something, whereas maybe
I love the name of that, Wonder Woman. It's like a powerful name.
But also, just for her answer, mixing in a daily dose of just straight CBD for me has really helped. Like, I take a minimal but little dose tincture of CBD every day, and I find it just like coffee when I'm on it. But you don't notice it as much when you're on it, but you notice it when you're off of it. So just like a headache, if you haven't had coffee in 2 days, it's the same physical sensation I feel with pain and relief in my body with CBD. It's almost every day I do it better. So that's something to look into. You can get the hemp, obviously, if you don't have your card, but THC-derived CBD is really the best.
Great. That's super helpful. Thank you. Our friend Candy on Facebook is asking, strains would you recommend for osteoarthritis? Excuse me.
Again, so this is where we get to the nitty gritty at our store, and we'll have people ask these specific questions, and there are answers. There's no real specific answer for osteoarthritis, but what I would suggest is Kathy looking for energy while she feels good, or is she looking to relax? And my assumption for that is usually hybrid or indica, because it's usually you want to relax. You want to just sit down and be able to sit without being in pain. So I would suggest a hybrid, like a heavier hybrid, or something that makes sure you're not going to bed, but you're relaxed. Your body, the more the indica leaning, the more I find you get more pain relief, because you're like relaxed and you're not, you're totally out of your body. Your mind's out of your body. Whereas sativa, it gives you relief, but it's more to help boost your energy and help get you through the day. So I would probably suggest a hybrid for someone with osteoarthritis, just a low dose, maybe take a couple hits of a vape just to feel better, just to get those pain, little aches away. That's all. And then again, CBD. That's all.
Right.
Great. And do you have CBD at Ermont that they, when they come in, do you recommend?
CBD in the States kind of hard to come by. We do 1-to-1 tinctures. We have a chocolate bar, and if we don't have anything available at the moment, that's why I think our customer service is phenomenal. Is we will go above and beyond to teach people how to find CBD in the meantime. So opinion,
Awesome.
like, CBD in the state has a long way to go. Like, it just like sure THC derived, but there's hemp CBD everywhere, so you can find it. And just people don't incorporate it enough, so we really make sure to try to get people to get involved in CBD and not strictly think THC is the answer.
Gotcha. That's great.
All right. Our friend Malcolm on YouTube is asking, if you already have anxiety, is there a strain that doesn't exasperate, excuse me, these symptoms? I've had way too much coffee today. I should have had a little bit of
So that's where we would mostly go with probably indica, because indica is always going to, like, for anxious people, you got too much energy and you got too much on your mind. Indica is going to be that chill out. You're going to focus. You'd be surprised where your mind can go after a hit or two of indica, where you think one way, the world's ending, and then the next day you're like, oh, I forgot I have to do that today. It's one of those things where your mind and cannabis can really tone you down. So for me, for anxiety, when I'm really anxious, and mostly I get anxious when my day's ending because I don't know what to do anymore because I'm an active person. So I'm like, what do I do next? That's when I really need to smoke. So I have to teach myself to even do it on my off day if I am, anxious and can't figure out what to do next. Yeah. A little bit, then you'll realize all that's in your head. The answer will arise, or you'll actually relax for a second and realize all that was noise and the right answer will come. But it's always, for me, hybrid indica's anxiety slayer.
All right, great. We have another question here coming from YouTube. I'm just waiting for it to pop up here. So Domini's asking about lower back pain. Any sativa would work. I feel with experience that for body aches, use edibles and emotional. Oh, you know what? Somebody was asking, sorry, I clicked to the wrong one. Somebody was asking about anything to help with lower back pain and what types of products would help with lower back pain that you offer.
So I'll answer this one kind of basically because I got plenty of back pain myself. So for me, what I like to do is I actually like to, I don't only smoke. I do use edibles, and edibles are really something in this industry that have saved me in a lot of ways. Old medications, sleep, everything. Edibles are really the answer for me. I always smoked. Smoking always will help relieve my pain, always help anxiety for me. But edibles are really how I've been getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep and relaxing at night. So to answer his question short and sweet, mixing a little bit of edible, layering. So you take an edible and smoke, and then when the smoke will get you instant relief, but you won't have to smoke again once you sit down because the edible will carry the wave. And you'll really feel like if you need more relief, maybe take 5 more milligrams instead of smoking another joint. So there's benefits to edibles in smoking on top of it. So you take the mind with the smoking, but the real most physical pain relief comes with edibles. And that's where we really get into it, especially with people going to the hospital and stuff, is you can't smoke all that. Edibles are really the key. Edibles are life-saving when it comes to pain and sleep.
That's great.
Interesting. And do edibles have different levels of THC in them? And when you kind of go, they start at a minimum.
The rec market, this is what separates us the most. It's not the flower, really, the vapes. I mean, you can get one of each in rec, but in medical, in rec, you're only allowed 100 milligrams to buy. And personally, I need about 25 to even feel anything. Everyone's got their own tolerance. It's just everyone's different. We work with you to keep you not overdoing it. Learn how to play the game with it. But everyone's body's different. So for me, I'd be spending hundreds of dollars in recreation, whereas in medical, we're untaxed. The more you buy up, the less the price. Just like Costco, just like anything. So it opens the doors for buying a bigger chocolate bar, say, and you can have that in your fridge for a month and you don't have to go to the store every 3 days. And if you need the higher dose, you can take 2 pieces instead of 1 and go from there and figure out what edibles work best for you. And some people like tincture because it's quick relief. It's quick. Tincture gets in your system faster because it's sublingual, but then you have gummies that you digest, and then chocolate and baked goods digest, but they're not the same. Gummies are a little weaker than chocolate because there's more substance you hits you heavier, and then brownie, you're sleeping 6 hours. It goes so you got to make sure they don't get the wrong edible. But for me, edibles are the biggest difference when it comes to medical and recreation. That's all.
Interesting. And how do edibles taste overall, would you say?
That's like, I mean, we have an extensive edible menu, so like that's up to you. It's trial and error as well. Different products, it's like anything, different companies provide different products, different styles. So it's up. Some people say gummies taste like it. Some people prefer chocolate because it doesn't. It's up. It really is a preference. But I don't. In this industry, we're getting better. So I don't think many people have bad edibles anymore. They've been doing it for 3-4 years. They're pretty good.
Right. It's amazing what you can get in an edible at this stage of the game now. It's incredible.
Right.
I mean, the simple mix of THC is the answer right there. That's
right.
All.
Sure.
Smoke again, you could still get by.
Yeah.
Which topical would you recommend for body pain, aches, headaches? And are you able to use topicals on your face and forehead for headaches?
I would recommend any 1-to-1 topical. There's a lot of THC topicals out there, and THC helps pain. But for headaches, 1-to-1, because it will get that anxiety out of there. So the THC is pain, but like the anxiety and the inflammation is what CBD. And that's what people always think CBD does it all. CBD inflammation and anxiety, THC is pain. So the people who are like, and sleep. So the people are like, how come that CBD, the people who don't use THC always ask, why didn't I sleep 8 hours? Well, you're not using THC, and that's what really provides the pain, deep pain relief. But the anti-anxiety of the CBD counteracts with the anxiety of the THC, and that's why the 1-to-1 for most, especially older people who've never really tried it, it's really like where they want to be.
Right.
For pain.
Yeah.
All right. Do tinctures does the effect last as long as an edible?
Not at all. And that's a great question. So tincture is a great specific edible because it's quick acting. So it's for people who need instant relief who don't smoke, or just want instant relief and like edibles. The problem with tincture is it goes out of your system really fast. So tincture is sublingual, so it'll go right into your bloodstream. But just because you're not digesting it, it can go out of your bloodstream within a couple hours. Where for me, it's like 4 or 5 hours. Tincture could be 1 to 3 hours. Yeah.
That was a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good question. So,
like, oh, that's 400 milligram tincture, and that edible is only 200 milligrams of chocolate, but the chocolate bar is heavier. That's like where people draw the line. That's all.
Right.
Got it. Going back to that last question about topicals, is it okay to put a topical on your face?
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's nothing is harmful. It's just THC and any cream you would ever use. So there's nothing that's harmful to put anywhere. Just like anything, don't get it in your eye. Just like you wouldn't want it in your eye. But yeah, there's no issue putting that on anywhere. People put it on everywhere for pain. So. Depending on what.
All right, great. So
topical, but most topicals that I know are universally, you can use anywhere. It's just safe to go. It's for anywhere in pain.
Perfect. So we talked a little bit about how your team helps people find the right strain. Can you kind of walk us through the process? If I were kind of I left MedWell, I have my temporary MMJ card, I come over to Ermont, and now I'm ready to kind of walk through the door. What does that look like? And especially now that we have COVID, right? Because I feel like COVID is like this bubble we live in. And what does that process look like when we walk through the door?
All right, so for us during COVID, we basically adjusted our hours and adjusted our style so it's safe for everybody to come in the store. So what we did is we have 6 feet markers outside, so everyone stands 6 feet apart, and we only allow 4 people in the store at a time, adhering to the 10 person in the room rule that was the original phase 1 or 2 rule. And so they get in line, they come in, they check them into the booth, and then after that we ask if they have Mass Health or a veteran, because we provide discounts for both. And then after we go through our due diligence, we set up the profile, we send them in, and they will go to the first PSA available, and they will come up with their paper and everything and ask, say, this is my first time here, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's a typical response. And our team just starts from the nitty gritty, asks what's bothering them, asks what they've used in the past, asks what hasn't worked, and asks if they smoked before, which, you know, if they've heard anything that, you know, pretty much they dig real deep into like the history of any THC use and what they're looking to get out of it. So it can be anywhere. It can be from someone who's never used it ever and they have to figure out how to start, or people who've been using it on the street forever and don't even know which one they like better. And we really have to work with the person.
Yeah.
A few times, like we give great discounts at our store first time and second time to make sure you're getting the right trials. So that's why it's set up perfectly. We also have a great loyalty reward program. So if you're coming into our store a lot, like it's a benefit for everybody. Like you're going to save money and you're going to find what you need. So you're going to talk to the same people who know you mostly, like all the days. So like it's a really, we have really great customer service and like retention when it comes to like knowing what each person wants. If we get to the point to know you, we'll tell you which one to get because we know it's better. Stuff like that. We just really we look out for our patients a lot. Yep.
Well, and if everyone's like you with all your knowledge, I'm sure they're in very good hands at Ermont for sure.
Sure.
We got a great team. They all know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that when I was looking at your website, you guys look like you're very socially conscious and helping the community. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're making a difference there? Because it looks like you do a ton. You do a ton.
Yeah. So we love like working with Quincy. We're one of the few dispensaries in like a city. We're right in the city, and we got a mayor. It's a whole different ballgame from what other people are used to. But we've been giving back since day one, and in the last year and a half, we've really ramped it up. I mean, every month at our store, we have a chalkboard, and it shows we have 4 cups out there, and all the patients are really the ones doing it. They'll give all their change to the cups, and we've donated about $1,000 a month more for these local charities in Quincy. Like right now, we have it's a prisoner reform program, but it's a really cool program. It's specific. It's just expunge records for people who are out but had past priors that they can't get jobs in the industry because of it. Stuff like that. So we really looking out to. And then we have another employee of ours, this kid, Devin, who's started the first ever expungement day. We did it last year at the Sons of Italy in Quincy, and it was really cool. It was all about, National Expungement Day. We actually got on a t-shirt, everything. It's going to be one of those things that's going to start picking traction up, but it's known for right now. I think it's this fall again. So. But
that's awesome.
Community outreach. We've done a lot. We really care. We've cleaned the quarries. We've done it. Like if you look at our Instagram, you can go on and on. We have the keys for feeding hunger. Whatever we can do for the community, we do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So important.
Yeah. So we do have another question from Celtic Bear One. Love Go Celtics. What do you recommend to ease extreme body and joint pain after chemotherapy?
I mean so that's an example. I can actually transition with this question to not get too specific every time. So like where I would ask the guy, like, do you want to smoke? Do you want to vaporize? Do you want to use an edible? And then after that, you would start saying, for his situation, you'd probably want more indica leading, something to relax, because the more relaxed you are, the more you're not thinking about the pain. So that I would say hybrid indica vaporizer, something really chill, or flower. And then or one-to-one edible. So instead of like you're going right to bed, because THC the more you take, the more you're sedative. You can get a one-to-one edible where it's a sweet spot and you're high enough to be out of your mind, but your anxiety is low because of the THCBD. So that's exactly where I'd say like maybe a one-to-one tincture could be good to have too, because instant relief, something like that. But work with the person and really figure out what they need.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. So
awesome.
one-to-one, that's really for pain and relaxation.
Right.
We have another question here from YouTube. It's just popping up here. Do you know why some MMJ places grind the flower into almost a powder? Does that affect the overall effect of the how cannabis is helping them?
that means. Usually you grind your own flour. I mean, if that person's talking about shake, there's different types of stuff you can sell. Shake would be the end of the bag, which is powder looking. Mostly for me, when I use my THC or in pre-rolls, I grind my weed every time. That's just how you get a better effect out of it. To answer that question, that's kind of a vague question. I would say for that MMJ place, maybe that's just how they produce it. I have no idea. We don't grind anything in our bottles. We just, besides pre-rolls, everything is in flour form. Like it's not ground up. So that's kind of a interesting specific question I can't really answer.
Vinny, I'm going to ask you a quick question. I had an email from a patient we had seen a few months back, and I guess was interested in getting her card for a anxiety-related ailment, and had gone to a place to purchase something, and then ended up having a really negative effect, and then had reached out to me just because she's upset and didn't think that maybe this was the right road for her to go down. Can you maybe just, I know you touched upon it already a little bit, but maybe give some additional advice as to, in the future for a patient that kind of comes back that had a bad experience, what would you say to them, or what are some things that even I could say to them next time to, ensure them that we'd want to have them continue to try different things, down the road that, could potentially help them?
I would say that I would like to just see what they went with. This is an example of customer service at our store, but like we would check what they used,
yeah,
what they used it for, how they used it, pretty much break down the whole situation. And then from there, we would offer more mild stuff, more stuff that like you really, it's like, drinking decaf coffee. You like something like that, something to get your foot in the door,
yeah,
but to be noticed, like a relief. So there's better analogies, but you know what I mean. It's to the point where you probably went overboard. That person was probably maybe a younger person who was just ambitious to give what they'd give their friends, and the right answer for that person, and they're freaking out. I mean, it happens all the time.
I know. Yeah.
People might even think they're ready for it and don't know, and they'll yell at you until they leave with it and come back that way. So where it's like that's where the program really needs to be about you. It needs to be you doing it for yourself. This isn't a doctor telling you an answer, and that's our society. We live in a society where doctors give answers in a pill, and that's it, and that's what and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is not like that. This is like your mood mixed with pain, mixed with anxiety, mixed with everything. This is like what works for you. It's just like you drink a coffee, just like how you eat when you're hungry, just like all that. It's just whatever fits the boat on that moment. So that's what I would tell them. You probably were told what to do for someone else's system, and it doesn't work for you, so you figure out.
Right. Yeah. Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. And our philosophy at MedWell Health is the same. It really is about our patients and making sure that how we can help them to live pain-free. So that's awesome. Our friend Melissa is asking, if you have a high tolerance for THC, would you recommend a break in use or a different strain?
So first of all, I would totally recommend a break, but like that's easier said than done because it's medicine. Like a break that's what I mean. Like this is for everyone, each their own. But for her answer, this is a great transition for this is where I get in arguments, more debates at my store, and it's because of THC levels. And so people will come in and I have a high tolerance myself, but people will come and just look at the strain with the highest THC sometimes, just buy that. And what that really says to me is they're not understanding what really works for them. So when it comes down to tolerance, maybe that person might want to try a different strain, example, but the terpenes are really so for me, this is my example. So say there's a strain that's 20% THC, but the TAC, which is total active cannabinoids, is like 26%. And that is CBD, CBG, intergestions. There's a bunch of different cannabinoids that go into each. So when you look at TAC is really what benefits you. But then you look at THC, and THC is just that, like I said, one-way pain relief. So people, or the way you get cerebral high. So when people will come in, they'll see, say 20 and 26, but then you'll see a 25 and the tax 26, right? So they'll still get the 25, even if it's a sativa hybrid and they're looking to relax, because they're not understanding that just because you're getting the highest, you're not getting the best benefit. Right. So I would say, and I'd actually be opted to say you'd be shocked at how much more, I guess, beneficial high and euphoric high you would get from smoking something that has superior terpenes or just fits your brain better. So like a high, like that 20% with 26 tac, you might hit that once and get way more relief than hitting other joint, finishing the whole joint. So like for me, it's really trial and error, and it's really knowing which terpenes work for you. So for the tolerance, I would start experimenting with other strains and seeing if those strains work for you, even if they're lower. And as a result, you're lowering your THC intake because you're taking lower THC, you're not smoking 25 every day, and you might figure it out. That's trial and error on your own. But yeah, tolerance break always works. It's tougher to do. That's all.
And I know we're getting close to kind of wrapping up shortly. And it looks like our friend Jonathan may have missed some of the conversation about the anxiety piece. Can you talk, his question is, during this strange time, many of us are experiencing anxiety. What would Vinny specifically suggest in terms of helping, what strains would help relieve anxiety? And I do think that's probably one of the more common medical issues that we see, especially now during these strange times, for sure.
So anxiety-wise, like, I mean, again, like I said, everyone's different, but from my suggestion for these crazy times and everything's on your mind at all times, again, CBD for the day, THC-derived CBD, which you can get with your med card.
Right.
Dose. Take it daily. After a couple of days, I just notice everything's smoother. Everything, like I said, with coffee, everything going, I'm doing things more routine, more willingly. Everything's, I want to do stuff. Like I go throughout my day more effortlessly. So see throughout the day. And if you do need that pain relief or to get your ADHD under control, maybe get a vaporizer or a 1-to-1 vaporizer, but mostly just a vaporizer, and just hit it when you need. When you're not feeling good and you don't feel like things are going that way, you hit the vaporizer a couple times and you move to slightly enhance. And you won't be smoking a joint. Some people need the cannabis, which I understand, but vaporizer, you really can microdose THC. And so microdosing THC for anxiety is what I would suggest is the #1 key. Yeah. Just get your mind out of your body and make sure you're focused on something positive, not negative. Right. Sure, THC helps me. But CBD is one thing that a lot of people in this industry don't even think about. They just buy all the THC. So yeah, to think about.
Awesome. So let's kind of wrap up a little bit more. Anything you want to share about Ermont and kind of, I mean, I have to tell you, I'm so impressed by all the stuff you guys are doing in the community. And if MedWell can help and support any of those causes in any way, please do let us know.
Absolutely.
But let us share kind of some closing thoughts on what we need to know about Ermont.
So, I mean, Ermont, when it comes down to it, I've had my card for 4 years. I've worked at Ermont for almost 3 years now. The Ermont, to me, the separation, I've shopped around the state. I know other people at other places. I've seen ups and downs of everywhere. Ermont, to me, at this point, is best customer service around for software. Like, it really, that's all we're told. We basically always make sure you have a great time. It's a good experience. You get what you need, and the retention of the retention is there. Like, we will never one-off you. We will always be there for you, even if it's the worst day for everybody involved. Everyone there works hard to make sure you're always feeling comfortable and get what you need for the day, because we all understand too. We're all in this together. And then also, we've gotten to a point where communal-wise, like, we're giving back and forth so much that we're part of Quincy now. We really are. We're just like, we become the staple in Quincy, and we really like the community, and we are trying to branch out in the South Shore as much as we can. So this is a great opportunity to explain to people to come down to Ermont and understand what we will help you get what you need. If you've had some bad experiences other places, come check us out and maybe we can fix that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Emily, do you have any last questions for Vinny?
No, Vinny, I just want to thank you so very much again. I was so excited to be able to have you on the show today and, be able to tell all the patients or future patients out there to really check out Ermont. You guys are really like the OG of the dispensaries out there in Mass. You have such an amazing reputation, and I would just love to see more of our patients be able to reach out to you and come check you out, and your amazing menu that you have, and like you said, the amazing customer service they'll receive.
Yeah, two last things. One thing is our menu is like, I always laugh, it's like the Nordstrom's. We have a little we're not going to like one store. We do have a little bit of everything. We just don't have all of everything, you know what I mean?
Yes, you do.
It really works out in your benefit.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, like always feel free to cut. Like Ermont's, never feel like Ermont. No one ever will look at you different. Ermont. Ermont's the most like fair place you'll ever be come into. So just come check us out. You'll understand what I'm talking about. That's all.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. That was the awesome information. Thank you for your time today. Thank you, Emily. Thank you to all of our friends out there. What great questions you had. So episode 3 down from MedWell Unscripted. Look for us again in 2 weeks. We're excited to see you.
Comment.
And
if you want to get your card, it's 4 visits and rec and you paid your card off. So if you're on the fence, think about tax, money, simple money. That's it. It benefits you everywhere. Again.
Awesome. And go to medwellhealth.net. You can schedule your appointment for your MMJ card right online in one of our offices throughout Massachusetts, or we also offer telemedicine. So thank you so much, friends. Have a great day, and we will see you next time on MedWell Unscripted. Take care.
Bye-bye. Yay.
I forgot to tell him to stay in the room. It was good.
That was like my favorite one so far, I think.
Yeah, I was stuttering at the beginning because I was like, I can't even say these freaking words. What the frick?
You did an amazing job as always. I didn't even notice, but I thought he was fantastic. I thought he did a good job explaining, and I thought, oops. Do I still have you, April? April?